all down to just 4 players. Actually, it's gonna be a rematch of the winners bracket final that we saw previously, the Australia and Korea 2v2, as some people said it. But of course, it's gonna be a solo event. We will have a bit of a points increase this time, since now the points limit will be up to 120 points. And they're going to be a bit different map order, so we might see some switches up with the placements. We might maybe see the Australians can again pull a 1-2 again, like we saw in the winners bracket final, but let's see how will this work out.
We'll see indeed. Like Chung and Min were a bit shaky during the winners final. During the losers final, they definitely were a bit more in their element, looking like they just needed to warm up a tiny bit more and ready for another face down, another face off between them and the Australian players. I wouldn't be surprised if like the Australian players will be rooting for each other and the Korean players will be the same for each other as well. But at the end of the day, all of them want to be the fastest of the bunch, and I think all of them really have that potential to be the fastest. Winky Face, I will say, is the favorite. He was looking very strong. Fitty being able to just edge out over him during the winners final, so also a very very strong competitor. I think this final match is very much a good showing of what the top of the player pool is in the Asia and OCE region right now.
Yeah, definitely
It's
a
just
developing region now. And seeing that they are now stepping up the pace, definitely every single season they're just getting better and better. Especially they're getting more and more as we're getting almost every single edition. There's almost the double of participants in these majors for this region. But a bit of a thing is that majority of these players are not able to play in majority of the events that are done. Usually for Eurocentric times, for Americans it's usually a bit easier to play. If they're like from United States, Canada, Brazil, because for them it's just early morning, but for them it's way too late in the night. So this is like their main place where they need to like perform and they want to showcase the best. And also one thing, that there's a bit of a storyline going on, that there is a bit of this rivalry between both two regions, between Asia players and Oceania players. All the time, Oceania has been the one who comes up on top in AOTC's tournaments. In the very first one in the spring, it was simply Nick who won it. In the summer edition, it was Fiddy who placed first. And now it's gonna be 2 Asia players versus 2 Oceania players in the grand final to see who will be the one or who will be the better region in this time around as well. Of course, who's gonna be the better player as well, since Winky Face, Fiddy, Chung, and Min are looking very solid. Chung and Min being the players who were all the time quite present in the Trackmania scene. However, they had quite a big of a break, seeing that finally Asia scene is starting to pick off. They were interested in taking part in the competitive scene a bit more, and this is the place where it's actually their very first tournament in very 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 long time for both of the players, and it's definitely showcasing that they have the skill set to have a proper and solid performance and to showcase what they are capable of, at least in the size of the Oceania and Asia United region level.
Yeah, it's really been just these new blocks, right? We've had plastic come in pretty recently. Ice has been one of the new blocks when the Trackmania 2020 version launched. And while it does seem like plastic right now is not too big of an issue for Bing and Chung, also because it is relatively new for everyone involved. It's really that ice, right? I just expect Hoot XXL to be the map that will be an issue for Ming and Chung simply because of that end, right? That end has been a bit of a thorn in their side. The other maps, issues can happen and perhaps bonks here and there, and that's all about consistency. These players are able to make those lines work, and they can do it very, very fast. Their pace can be very high as long as the pressure doesn't get to them. And I think that is what matters right now. You're already going into this match with the notion that you lost against Fiddy and Winky Face. right? That just happened. That was like what 1.5 hours ago. So you just got to dispel that feeling. You got to dispel that thought. You got to make sure that going into this, it's a fresh start. Not only that, there is more room to actually gain that lead, right? We're going for 120 points, as you mentioned before, and it's all about keeping your calm, keeping your momentum, and just rely and trust in your lines. It's easy to lose faith, and I hope that the Korean players will able to keep that up. It will be interesting to see our first Asian champion to be crowned, but perhaps Fiddy, I can imagine he wants to defend his title.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the players who will be participating in Grand Finals, so speaking of Fiddy, Fiddy is a 20-year-old Australian player, started with the new game, plays on a controller Xbox One, plays use Camera 2 as his preferred camera. Preferred styles are dirt and precision-like maps. Spring Edition was his very first tournament in Trackmania, where he placed 6th place, and in the summer season he managed to win it, having a very solid performance. Did not lost, or even did not place second in a single match. He got clean swept the whole summer edition. And looks like, will he be able to do this time around, since, well, sadly his clean sweep did not really work out, as he has played actually second in the semi-final and in the winner's final. So let's see what will happen this time around, as it was not the most optimal performance or the up-to-par performance as we saw him from the summer season, but let's see what happens now in the grand final. The second player in the grand final is Chung, also known as Fuzzy if you're a bit of a Trackmania old-timer. He is 26 years old, from Korea, plays with keyboard. Main camera is camera 3, plays camera 2 on dirt, and camera 1 on ice. Preferred styles is tech and very short tracks, used to play in Team Q and Alpha in ESL CPS team tournaments as well. Played if you, maybe some people remember, if you're like all-time Trackmania player or a Trackmania community follower, you have remembered the Trackmania Frostbill weekly races that were taking place, and he was one of the also one of the better players in those events, and he's one of the proudest performances from those are as well. So third player in the grand final, also from Korea, is Min. 19 years of age. He's a hybrid player, plays with keyboard and Xbox Wireless. Bit of a keyboard, prefers keyboard tiny bit better. Plays on camera 1. Very similar as Chung is. Preferred style is on tech tracks. Hasn't really played in any teams to my knowledge, but recently has joined the VSP clan in United Forever, and as well has been starting to challenge Karyan and as well some top players in the campaign records as well. Recently stepped up in the competitive scene, trying out his best, and definitely the fact that he reached out in the grand final is definitely showing that he definitely is a challenger for Asia, OS, and maybe some future international events as well. And the final player in the grand final, the player who has been looking so far the strongest one in this tournament, running in the playoff, and today is Winkyface from Australia, 19 years of age, plays on an Xbox One controller, plays with camera 1, doesn't really have a preferred style. In the previous AOTCs has been in the very first Asia Trackmania Championship, placed second, just behind Simply Nick, and in the summer edition he placed third, just behind Seb and Fiddy. Seb actually was one of the players who was looking one of the strongest one in practice, but actually did not make it to playoffs from Taiwan. But sadly, some of the players just performed a bit better when it needed, and looks like Winkyface having his third final appear. I think he's the only player who has 3-time grand final appearances in Asia Trackmania Championship tournaments, and looks like we're gonna be soon on the way as players are slowly warming up on the server. As it looks like it's gonna be Hooted XXL as the very first track. So what are your thoughts on the player pool in the grand final? Was that something that you expected, and who do you see? Maybe we can see some potential position changes happening during the grand final.
Yeah, starting off on this map, I do see a bit of a disadvantage for the Korean players, right? As mentioned before, that ice ending is really a hassle, and Winky Face showing off a great slide right there. I really expect the Australian players to take a bit of a lead here, and in particular Winky Face. I do definitely see him as the favorite. From what I understood, he has been practicing very hard on these tracks as well, and even set a top 20 time on Fall 23 just because he really wants to win, right? And I think dedication like that is very important if you are intending to be number one. So my favorite, I will say, is Winky, and I think for many people is the same way. But that doesn't mean we can rule out any of the other players, right? I still believe Min is a very strong player. He doesn't seem to be having his day today, and it would be nice to see him in his groove because if he does hit that momentum, hit that spark, right, and goes Ultra Instinct, he will be doing a fair job. But unless that doesn't happen, I kind of expect a bit of a repeat from winners final. Perhaps Chung would be the one coming into second place. I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna see all the players play it all out, right? It's not gonna be first two players and then we're done. We're gonna have to determine who's first, who's second, who's third, and who is fourth place.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be a bit since we already saw that there is this rivalship between the two regions. Is that Australians or Oceania region has been the one who has won it before two times with Simply Nick in the spring season and Fidi with in the summer season. But I kind of really want to see that at least Asia popping off at least this time around, as we it looks like Min and Chung are looking very strong contenders to represent their region. But will it be enough? Actually, both of them did manage to beat their opponents respectively, where Min managed to beat Winky Face in his semi-final, and Chung managing to beat Fidi in his. Chung beating Fidi and Min beating Winky Face in their semi-finals. But looks like they're a bit lacking performance, like they from semi-final as they're, but maybe they will be able to bounce back, and we'll have a top-tier match to look at this Sunday.
Yeah, and top tier match. It is very much promised. I will say. I do think that these are the best four players in the pool. I think Simply Nick was a close fifth in this one, right? Having some flashes of genius and showing a great performance in losers final, but just not able to close it out. Whereas the others, are able to capitalize on that. I think we could have seen him in this one, but regardless, I think this is a well-deserved grand finals for all the players in here. I don't think any of the players got here by pure chance, right? These are prepared, well-oiled machines and ready and poised to take number one. It's really I'm gonna say map order is gonna have a bit of an influence on it. We already see this first map, right? Gonna be an early lead, but an early lead doesn't mean everything at all. And maybe they're hoping for a chalk, hoping for a slice to bring it all in, the Korean players, and it would be nice to see an Asian champion. Perhaps in the future we'll be seeing more Asian players coming in, and we perhaps have some Thai players come in, have some Japanese players come in and whatnot, right? I think that'll be very, very exciting. But that's looking too far into the future right now. Uh, we have about 20 seconds before we go live with the first round of the grand finals of the AOTC Fall Edition.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Definitely, I really hope we will see all players performing at the best, and we all see a very sick match like we saw some of the first couple of rounds on Chalk beforehand in the winners final. Would be awesome to see. But let's see, this map doesn't really favor the Koreans that much, so Australians are looking a bit stronger on this one, as we're gonna go on first round in the AOTC Grand Final between Fidi, Winky Face, Min, and Chung on who will be the Asia and Trackmania champion in the fall season. On starting off on Hute XSL, map by myself, and so far looks like already a relatively close round with Chung just tiny bit behind. Close pack between Fiddy, Minky Face, and Min. Winky Face having a bit of a slowdown, needs a bit of grass here and there. Call comes down to the ice slide. And who will get? Looks like Chung gets a bit of a release. Won't have that much exit speed, but looks like a very relatively close top three so far. But looks like Fiddy will take the first 10-pointer in the match, following by Winky Face and Min in third, and then Chung in fourth place.
Solid first round. Good start for all the players. Obviously unfortunate for the Korean players right now, drawing the short end of the stick, but nothing they can be too disappointed about at all. It was close up until that ice, and just need to get one more good ice slide. But here we are, round number 2. Into the third section we go. All the players keeping their footing, or wheeling as you might want to call it, relatively well. But at the end of that third section, Min does clip the barrier right there, leaving only 3 players at the front. Fiddy and Chung fighting for first place right now. They are neck and neck. Let's see which of the players reign supreme. Winky Face might come in between the two to ruin the party, and Chung slides out, unfortunately, and Winky Face slides into first place. Fiddy trying to catch up, but Winky just has a bit too much speed. Maybe a bit of a snipe, no snipe whatsoever coming in. 1/10 difference between the 2 Australian players, and it's 10 points to Winky and 6 to Fiddy. Min and Chung do finish, but it's getting a bit bigger of a gap. 16 for all the Australian players, 8 for all the Korean players.
Yeah, so far looks like a solid start for the Australian players, having a very solid start. Although, like I mentioned, this is not one of the better maps for the Korean players, so a bit unfortunate they're starting off on this map. But let's see, maybe they can bounce back and get the proper get some rounds in, maybe get some +10, +6 pointers. As actually Winky Face looks like he tinches the side, goes out of this round. As at this level, it's basically that one minor gear down, one minor mistake literally can put you at the back of the pack. As we have a relatively close top 3 so far. Min goes for the ice slide, and we will actually have a Korean 1-2 as Chung leads and both of the Australians are out of the round. And it looks like Chung will take the +10 pointer, following by Min. And while we have both of the Australians at the bottom. Actually, Fiddy barely finishing, and looks like Winky barely also finishes in time. So now we'll have a bit of an inverted leaderboard for that specific round.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if we can get all the points tied up at the end. Very interesting to see. All the players will be able to get a first place on this map if that were to happen, but we're not sure about that. That is just me predicting the future. My predictions work 60% of the time right now. All the players very close together, neck and neck. It's all, again, going to come down to this ice slide. Winky Face bit behind right now with less speed, but as we get into this corner, all the players relatively close by. Min and Chung go wider. Winky Face and Fiddy a bit more on the inside, and looks like Winky Face has a great bobsled section going in. Chung trying to chase him down. Fiddy overtaking Min, and there we have it. Winky Face number 1, Chung 2, Fiddy in 3, and Min in 4th place. Nice round from all the players coming in. Solid times and firm handshakes.
Yeah, so far a good round. Chung actually getting that +6 was quite useful for him. Winky Face getting that extra +10 pointer definitely puts himself in a minor lead position. As we're going to be moving on to Chalk, we saw previously having very, very, very close rounds being played on Chalk, where all players were between 0.05 and doing 0.3 from WR. Like being like 0.3 from world record and being last. Like those kind of rounds. And I think we might see the same thing here as well. And this is the map where even just getting a minor bit of unfortunate gear, a bit of a wider approach, bit of a tighter approach sometimes just from the optimal line can literally will send the players to the bottom, and we'll see that 0-4 on their car. But let's see how this one, because they know that they will have to push for that top tier pace, especially since they know what kind of times people did in rounds in the winners final. So I think we will see a couple of mistakes happening just from players trying to risk as much as possible, trying to go as close as the walls as we already trying to see, trying to maintain those most optimal gears, trying to force themselves in the most better gears. And hopefully let's see if we'll see the top tier rounds as we saw in the previous matches.
Yeah, risk is the name of the game. We know gears are important, but it has been that risk, as you mentioned, right? Players just risking it at all. Round number one live. Let's see who is the most riskiest, but at the same time, whose risk will pay off the most. Let's see that first turn right here. This gear right here is very important. All of them keeping the gear up. Winky Face and Fitty just a bit ahead right now, but just by a little bit, not too much. Min goes a bit wide, but does not hit the barrier. Keeps it all together. Great bobsleigh coming in as well. Everybody's still in the mix. Let's look at this slide. Good slides. Chung not that much speed perhaps, but keeps up with the rest. Min slides past Fitty right there at the end. And Chung has more speed on the ice as well. But is it enough at the end? No, bit too much of an outside drift allows Winky Face and Fitty to come back in. What a close round between all the players. Just 2 tenths between the number one and number four, and number one being Min.
Yeah, and this was I was talking about the close rounds that were happening, and looks like that Chung getting that round win definitely put himself in a bit of a closer field because the points are starting to become closer from first to last. Definitely helped him out, especially to receive some extra bonus points from the last map, as it wasn't the best performance, as we have Fitty going out, clipping the side, puts himself out of this round, gives an opportunity to Winky Face to potentially get another plus 10 points, but maybe also Koreans to deny, as we saw Min having a pretty solid bobsled turn here. But let's see what will happen. Looks like a very solid 1-2-3 so far, exiting the bobsled. Min tries to attack Winky Face with a tiny bit of wider line, trying to rack up more speed. Min tries to attack, tries to force out as much a straighter approach as possible. Gets a minor lead over Winky Face. Chung comes out from the back, but it's not enough. He had to release to adjust, and Min will be securing the plus 10 points in this round, followed by Winky Face with the plus 6. And Chung with the plus 4 in third place, and Fidi manages to finish in the last with the plus 3. And due to that, Min jumps to the second place in terms of points.
Oh my word, that line from Min at the end really got me on the edge. Like, I was so sure, like, is he gonna hit the barrier? Is he gonna hit he did not. He did not hit the barrier at all. Solid drift at the end to clutch it all out. Let's see if he's able to repeat his success right now. He is behind right now with Winky Face and Fitty in the lead. Chung, Min following behind, but all the players still relatively close by. The risks are all paying off for all the players. It's really coming down to 2 tenths of a second, 1 tenth of a second, even in the hundreds. Let's see where we will end up right now. Winky Face with a decisive lead this time, but Min building up a lot of speed on the ice. Does not clip the checkpoint, has to slow down just a tiny bit as Fitty overtakes Winky Face this time with the number one bringing in a 45.4 with Fitty, Min, and Chung rounding out the 2, 3, and 4 spots.
Yeah, Winky Face had a really nice time there. He had a very great start. He managed to basically avoid every single grain of penalty sand at the start, and that put him so far in the lead, entering the bobsled part that he maintained till the end. As we're coming up on the last round on chalk so far. Definitely one of the better maps for the Koreans, and they definitely need to try to use the best of work of that while they're still on here, trying to get those extra points from the Australians to put themselves back in the field. So far, Australians are looking for a 1-2, but Min has so much speed entering over the freewheel part, gets a lot of extra speed due to that, coming into the bobsled part, very close for the 1-2-3 so far. Chung is a bit behind, but let's see what will happen here. Min has an amazing exit here from the earth to dirt, tries to stay as straight as possible, gets a bit of an oversteer to try to save himself, doesn't maintain the most optimal exit speed due to that. And looks like it's going to be Winky Face taking another plus 10 pointer, followed by Fidi in the second. So it's going to be a 1-2 for Australia once again, following by Min in third place and Chung in fourth.
Winky Face taking a decisive lead with that entire map, really. Going 16 points ahead of the number 2, which is Min right now. That has to feel very good. You already got half the points going into the third map, which is Fall 23, which, as mentioned before, Winky got a top 20 time on just a few hours ago. He really was practicing well, and if you're just nailing a top 20, I'm sure you're still feeling that time, and you got the pace to secure that lead even more, but definitely don't count out the rest. We have been seeing Min doing a tremendous job there on chalk, and I'm hoping that none of the players will make too many mistakes, and we'll have some more close matches as we did in the previous map.
But yeah, this map is a bit of a. If the previous one was a bit of a pace map, this is more of a survivorship map on the terms of consistency. This map is not that easy in terms of to play in rounds. We might expect a lot of mistakes, definitely comparing to what we saw on the previous map, as in terms of difficulty, this map is at least 4 times more difficult. Especially since they will try to push for the top tier pace that players actually can do. A lot of mistakes might happen here and there. But I do think now, since they know what the players can do in the matches they saw in previous matches, that we might see some better, cleaner rounds. But I think a lot of players will try to risk for those plus 10 points to get in the lead of the points. As we're going on the first round on Fall 23, as we already have first early man down, which is Fiddy having an early touch. Koreans at the moment are 1-2, bit of an airtime there from Min's side. Winky Face at the moment in third place. Do we see early mistakes so far? Actually, no. So far, no mistakes from the Korean side. Both go for the mid jump. Managed to go safe and sound. Actually, Winky Face also makes it. Min tries to go, clips to the inside line, allows Winky Face to overtake. Winky Face a lot more speed than Chung, but will Chung be able to maintain his first place? Because he's starting to reduce the gap. He has tiny bit more exit speed. Will call down to the end. Very, very hard to say it, but Chung managed to keep the lead, and it's a relatively close round, and Chung gets the plus 10 pointer following, and Winky Face in second place, Min in third, and Fiddy with his mistake in fourth. So only one major mistake from Fiddy with the early clip at the start. But overall, not too bad of a performance from the players on this map.
Definitely not too bad at all, and very needed for Chung as well. He was dead last. He still is last place, but not as much anymore. Those 10 points really helped him out in closing the gap to his fellow competitors. Very curious to see if he's able to repeat that right now as the players make it halfway through the map and doing a fine job until that sideways checkpoint ruins everything. Just Fiddy remaining at the end. Rest of the players are just completely out of it. Fiddy got all the time in the world to secure some 10 points. Let's see if the other players are able to secure some more. No, Fiddy! He slides out on the plastic, hits the road sign, and Min takes over the number 1 spot. This is a bit of a bad showing of all the players around, and it's looking like Min is the best of the worst in this one. Winky Face overtaking Fiddy in the end as well. And Chung rounds it out in number 4 place. What a round. We went from such a close round 1 with a very, even close to photo finish to the sideways checkpoint, ruining it all.
Yeah, and this is the threat of this map, as it focuses more on consistency due to its difficulty. Not a very easy map, that's why the mistakes are happening, and this tests out players, how consistent they are and how well they can maintain their car's position on the map while maintaining a lot of speed, as we saw. Fiddy again with early mistake. Min as well touching the wall, almost there. Players successfully saved the no slides, as actually both Australians are out in this round. Both Koreans now taking the safer approach. Chung gets a bit of an overslide and gets the gear down on the plastic part. Due to that, his compatriot Min overtakes, but he slides out on the plastic part. And due to that, with Chung trying to take it a bit more too safe, Fiddy actually pushes himself into first position, overtaking Chung at the very end. Will we see? So yes, Fiddy will take the first place, and very close fight between Min and Winky Face for that third position, where Min comes in second, Min comes in third, but Chung will get the second place in this round. So very nice points there for Fiddy. Gets himself closer to those top 2 positions with that plus 10 points.
Yeah, this is really causing Winky Face's lead to evaporate. He cannot afford to make another mistake right now on the final round on 23. Let's see if any of the players will make some mistakes. This time Winky with a bit of air, but a bit of air is the least worst thing that can happen, as Min decides to 50-50 grind the side of the road and flies on out of here. We just have Chung at the front with Winky Face and Fiddy in hot pursuit. And it is turning into a neck-and-neck race at the front. Which of the two are going to reign supreme in the end? Great plastic slides coming in from the 2 players. Fiddy lurking right behind, about 4/10. Chung going a bit higher. Winky going lower, allowing Chung to have more speed at the end, overtaking Winky Face. securing 10 points. Let's see, Min just gets into the finish line just a few seconds. Don't hit anything else. You got it. There you go. That's 3 points for Min, making sure he's on the board as well. 2, 3, and 4, very close together, but Winky Face still at the top with 82 points.
Yeah, keep in mind this is still 120 points, so they don't have to. They have to play a bit more rounds as we're gonna go in Sliced, one of the more pace-based maps in the map pack. We already saw some couple of close rounds, but in this map is since it's very speed-based, a bit of a wider line can definitely toss the players inside the wall that will completely lose them like a 1 or 2 seconds. So they'll have to try their best to push for the pace as their PBs are like just a 0.1 in between all of them. Yeah, all of their personal best on this map are like between 0.1 from the WR, where Winky Face at the moment has the world record on this track. So it's going to be a very close one, but we might see some mistakes happening here and there, players trying to push for those. As we said, 0.1 from WR is each of their players' max potential pace. So people definitely going to be pushing for those top positions if to get those plus 10 pointers, plus 6s. But let's see how it will go this time around. There have been some minor line differences. We saw that Chung will go for the inside line, and some people will go for a bit of an outsider approach at the very end. But let's see how it will end up in the end.
We will see. It's very, very tricky, that ending on this track as well. I feel like that is the one spot where pressure really gets to it. That third slide is very fast, and you want to maximize the speed by going as outside as you can, but that is the one place that really leads to disasters. We see Chung right here doing that inside line, as mentioned before. In terms of pace and time, you do see there isn't necessarily a lot of time difference. It's merely a preference of approaching the map itself. Top 3 very close together, with Fiddy just following behind right now, about 3/10 at the moment. Let's see if he's able to get closer to the rest of the pack, or if it's going to be a photo finish for first place. Here we get that third turn. Chung going very wide right now, perhaps having more speed to get back to Winky and Min. Does he do so? He does not. He stays in third place. Min and Winky, 5,000ths of a second between the two players, but Min reigns supreme right now. What a close race. Great round for all the players, starting off on Sliced.
Yeah, Min slowly now reducing the points gap between him and Winky Face. That Winky Face managed to get from Who to XXL at the start of the match. So slowly the field is getting tighter and tighter, or at least Min is trying to get closer as we're having the next round. Min at the moment in a minor lead with a very close photo finish like CPs. Well, Fighty now attacks with a bit more extra speed. Chung as well at the fact trying to build a bit more speed with the wider approach. Winky Face still managing to maintain first position. Min gets a bit of higher jump there. Doesn't keep that much speed due to that, but it seems like a very tight approach round. Min gets a lot of more excess speed, gets a bit of airtime, but looks like it's gonna be a solid 1, 3, 2, 3, 4 round. And it's gonna be Winky Face taking the plus 10 pointer, following by Fiddy and the both two Koreans in third and fourth positions respectively. And due to that, Fiddy now overtakes Chung for third place in terms of points.
What close? Oh my word! From 2 close races. Unfortunately, this time we're not gonna have as close as the ones before. Fiddy unfortunately did clip that border in the sausage jump. I've never been a fan of sausage blocks. That was a very, very good example of why that is the case. But Winky Face with a decisive lead this time. Min and Chung having a bit of a rough first half of the map. Let's see if the second half is any better for them, or if Winky Face is just gonna drive a solid time right now. He is very much on pace to set himself up for first once again, extending his lead. There you go. That's 10 points in the bag once again. 108. He just needs to get, let's say 2 wins, a win, and a second place, right? He has options. He has potential. There's a lot of room, a lot of space for him to get into finalist mode and perhaps close it out, but definitely don't count out the rest.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a chaotic round before, as we were gonna enter the last round on Sliced. So Winky Face looks very solid in this match so far. goes almost touches the wall right there, so almost did a caster curse there, but we have actually both Koreans now in the 1-2 positions. Australians trying to attack, Min pushes for that pace to rank as much speed as possible. Winky Face with a very nice inside line right there. Shrunk tries to go a bit too wide there. Loses tiny bit of speed and increases the gap between other players. Min gets a slowdown there on the landing, loses his top 2 position in the round. Due to that, Australians are in the 1-2 so far. Winky Face again in another +10 opportunity. Doesn't have that much speed, but is still enough to maintain the +10 points. So another 1-2 for Australia in this last round on Sliced.
Round and Sliced, the Winky Face just needs to, well, just get through the finish line. Doesn't really matter, right? He just needs to get through the finish line. We are at the 5th map of the pack. Burn it all down, and this is where we will possibly crown the winner. Right now, Winky Face very much in position to make it all happen. Rest of the players are going to have to deny him a couple of times to even get into finalist mode themselves. So it is very much make or break, and it's Winky Face's match to lose right now. As like I said, he just needs to just hit the finish once right now, and then think about winning. Right? He can have 2 warm-up rounds if he wants to put it that way. But I don't know if he's just gonna accept that, or if he's just gonna go all out from the start and try to be as dominant as he was showing off to be on Sliced. There was definitely a lot of competition happening there, right? A lot of close races, but Winky Face was very, very solid, driving 44 ones pretty much all the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those tracks that I think both Koreans again will be able to potentially get some solid rounds going. But let's see how it will go, as we're gonna be starting our first round on Burn It All Down by Superroll, which was one of the guest-made maps for the competitions that was added to the Open Qualifier number 2. So far, let's see how it'll go. Winky Face just needs to finish this one round, and he will be in finalists as well. But he can potentially deny the points from other players, so he has more finalist opportunities. And so far, he looks very solid in the first place in the round, falling by Min. But Min slowly does close in. In the fact, Fiddy tries to attack. Min does lose a bit of speed there, goes over the penalty grass, thus loses quite a bit of excess speed in the process, allows Chung and almost Fiddy to overtake. Fiddy attacks for the inside line, but the excess speed isn't too much, but doesn't really gain that much over the Koreans as Min touches the wall, but Chung gets a sick exit speed from that part and even overtakes Winky Face as Winky Face gets the gear down that makes him lose the round. And it looks like this might be a +10 pointer for Chung, as we will have the first finalist, and Winky Face will be that.
He faced in finalist mode, as mentioned, right? He just needed to finish. That's all he needed to do. A bit unfortunate that he wasn't able to deny more points in the end, but right now, all he cares about is finishing in first place. Nothing else matters right now. All the other players care about is stopping Winky Face from doing exactly that, as we have a very close start to Burn It All Down. Let's see if Winky is able to close it out. He does clip the ramp there a tiny bit. You got a little, road on the downturn of that third. Did hit that. So right now, it's looking like the Korean players are in a very, very good position to get some more points on the board. Winky Face decides to just go for a little bit of a yeet, accepts that this is not his round to win, and allows the rest of the players to pick up some points. This is going to be Min picking up the first place. Good slide coming in, and it is 10 points for Min, 6 points to Chung. Fiddy picking up 4, and it's going to be Winky Face having another try at closing it all out.
Well, but at least he has the points gap where he can afford to have multiple attempts, where he can properly go for those round wins, as he has over 19 points difference over second place, where is Min. As we have first early mistake, and it was actually Min who gets the early touch, and Chung as well, so it will be a 1v1 between the Australians. Will Winky Face get to first place and win AOTC Summer, thus keeping the Oceanic region being the most dominant one in this tournament series? Or he touches the CP touch on the side. Got so much speed that he actually got the roof hit, allowing his compatriot Fiddy to overtake Fiddy as well. Touches the side. Min, with his early mistake, now goes into the lead, falling by Winky Face and Chung. Like all of the pack now overtakes Fiddy now. Min gets a bit of a sketchy line. Winky goes for the inside approach now, but looks like this might not be the round for Winky Face to take it, as Min, in the end, gets the plus 10 pointers, and Winky Face will sit in finalist for one more round.
One more round indeed. Min, like, let's see if he's able to deny him once again. It would put him in finalist mode if he gets first place with that deny. Winky Face definitely is feeling the pressure, right? It's been 2 opportunities right now for him to close it out. This is his 3rd try, and let's see if he's able to keep it all together. Chung and Fiddy right now at the front, as Winky Face did have a bit of a bad transition onto the 3rd section. I don't think this is going to be it either, unless the other players all decide to make mistakes themselves. We have seen before, if you make the mistake early and everybody else makes one, usually you're the one coming up ahead. But it's looking like none of the players are feeling like they want to drive bad. No PayPals around here. Fiddy, Min, and Chung going into the finish line. Let's see this final drift coming in. Fiddy actually hits the outside of that corner, allowing Min to come into finalist mode as well. We have double finalists at the end of Burn It All Down, and I'm pretty sure we're now going to go back to your map, right?
Yeah, looks like who TextXL might be the one who might decide the winner, as it seems like it, as there are gonna be 4 rounds being played. The odds of having the first winner here are very, very, very high. The problem is that this map wasn't looking that great for the Korean players, but maybe some miracles might happen. But also Winky Face looks like he's in a bit of a high pressure situation. A lot of mistakes are happening from his side. He has such a big points gap, so many opportunities to finish off his finalist attempt, and it still hasn't worked out. Now that slowly the rest of the playing field is starting to catch up due to that. And he definitely needs to get his work done if he wants to win this competition. But it's gonna be very sketchy. Other players also don't count out if they kept denying. Maybe even Chung or Fiddy can even overthink. So it's gonna be very scary now for Min and Winky to actually do it. The pressure is gonna be high, and let's see how will this go.
Definitely, I'm if denies will happen, I'm expecting Fiddy to be the one to bring down the hammer on Winky's chances, but that is just a prediction. 60% of the time it works every time. Fiddy with the inside line, whereas the other players decide to go on the outside. Doesn't do a lot overall, as all the players are nice and close tucked together. Winky Face and Fiddy exchanging 1st and 2nd place. Chung and Min doing the same, right? It's again a fight for that ice. Who gets to the ice first? Who gets the best ice line? Let's see. It's all going to come down to this for Winky and Min. Min with the inside does not get the right approach onto that bobsleigh. Winky facing first right now, having a lot of speed at that. Chung unable to catch up. Fiddy as well, but it turns out that you cannot hit the side of the ring. You got to go in the ring. Not the outside, the inside of the ring. No. Oh, Winky Face had it all right now. Just to jump a bit more to the left. But unfortunately, he denies himself.
Oh, the pressure got too high for him. Oh, I can definitely feel that. He just needed to steer a bit to the left, that it would have been enough, but he tried to maintain as much speed because the players really don't see the other players go, so they only can rely on the checkpoints they can see on the sides. He probably didn't notice. He tried to go for the full title line approach and didn't really work out. As we are entering now on the ice section in the next round, Fiddy at the moment in the lead. Oh no, Fiddy crashes out. And now we have Chung, Min trying to go for the ice slide. Winky Face with not the most optimal line, looks like, but he still maintains it. Like, where are the Koreans? Hard to say where the Chung is actually from the back, but looks like very safe approach from Winky Face. Winky Face tries to be a bit more safe. And congratulations to Winky Face on winning Asian Trackmania Championship Fall 2021. very nerve-wracking for him. And I think
Uh,
he has a massive few now going on. But we still
well,
have the second, third, and fourth place for him. Min is still in finalist. Fidi is looking quite spicy here. Maybe he can deny the Koreans for the second place, but Min is still in finalist. Chung is only 2 points away.
2 points away indeed. That was a nail biter from start to finish. Took us 4 rounds, but we can finally crown Winky Face as the champion of the AOTC. But we're not done. We need to see who is second place. Chung right now in the lead, with Philly following close behind. Min with the inside ice line looking pretty good. Chung not having the best entry into the bobsleigh section. Min having more speed than Chung, but does he have more speed than Fiddy? Doesn't look like it. Fiddy brings in another 10 points, putting Fiddy into finalist mode. So now Min has to deal with the pressure of a double finalist situation. But in this
Isn't it
situation,
triple finalist?
it's triple even. You're right. This is it, make or
Oh,
break. I totally missed. Chung was so close.
we'll
You're
have
totally
triple
right.
finalists for second place now. Fidi made a nice comeback, so it's gonna be a triple finalist for second place in AOTC between two Koreans and Fidi from Australia. The winner of this round will be second place. There are no deniers here. Looks like Min having with the shakiest start so far. Fidi still maintains his first place, goes a bit over the grass, but looks like goes for a bit of a safer type trip. But let's see what happens in the end. Min gets the oversteer. Min is out. Min is out. Fidi is still in the lead, so looks like he will have an insane comeback unless he doesn't pull a winky face at the very end. And we'll have two Australian, 1, 2, and Fidi will, with the insane comeback, will get the second place in the Asia Unknown's Trackmania Championship. And now it's all up to the two Koreans in the 1v1 for the third place.
1v1 for the third place. It was one of the things mentioned before, right? That ice section, the ice blocks in general are not very much in favor of the Korean players, and it really came back to haunt them with the point increase. We went back, right? We went back to Hütte, and it cost them all, right? Min was doing a tremendous job denying Winky Face on Burn It All Down, taking advantage of the fact that he was nervous, right? It was he was nervous, he was shaky, he was getting these lines that he would normally get, just didn't hit in the way that you would expect him to. Very happy to see that he was able to close it out, and in many ways, definitely the one who deserved the victory, having been in the lead for pretty much the entire match. But yeah, it's unfortunate that they ended up on Huta like that, right? The two Korean players. I think if that wasn't the case, if that one was perhaps the second or the third map, then they would probably feel a lot more confident during that final part of it all, the final match of it all. Right now, we just gotta figure out which of the two Korean players will be in third place, which of the ones will be in fourth. This is the last round, period, unless they both decide to DNF for some reason.
Yeah, best of luck to the final players. Bit unfortunate about the map order that they received, because this map where they are could potentially were looking a bit stronger than previous one, but it all comes down for the third place. The Korean 1v1 in AOTC for the third place. Looks so far so good from both of the players, both between Chung and Min. Looks like Chung has a bit better start. Min gets a bit of an oversteer there, loses a bit of a speed. Both having a very nice tight lines there. Min has a bit more speed. Uses now his hyper potential. Now overtakes, gets a bit better. A bobsled as well. Overtakes Chung right there. We saw that Chung actually now goes for the attack. Proper exit speed now for the Chung, but looks still pretty close with the minor drifts at the end. And it will actually be Chung who will secure the third place in the Asia No Trackmania Championship, and Min will sadly be in fourth place. Very unfortunate there for Min, but still seeing that both new Korean well, not really new, but new to the competitive scene nowadays in the new game, still both of them reaching the grand final is a very impressive performance from both of them. So GG's to all of the players. Congratulations to Winky Face on first place, Fidi in second, Chung in third, and Min in fourth. Very solid performances. We saw a very exciting grand final, I think. Also, the losers and winners bracket final were very, very exciting matches and sick matches to watch. Awesome to see this region improve in such a way during the last few months, actually. So the level has definitely improved from last season. And what are all your thoughts about the event and what we saw from the players?
It's been a joy to watch. I think that is definitely the main feeling that I have with all of this. Like, huge props to all the players really dedicating themselves to like getting these tracks down and pat. And as mentioned before, Winky Face apparently was already getting some PBs in preparation for today's matches as well, right? He really wanted to go for it, and it definitely paid off in spades for him, despite that wonky end. Just allowing Min to get into finalist mode from 91 points. It's been a roller coaster of a ride. Definitely check out all the players if you haven't already, and any of the socials that they might use, because they just put up a tremendous performance. And it's been an exciting final. It's been a lot closer than the winners final as well. You definitely saw the Korean players getting a bit more into their own right, and Fiddy also just trying to keep up with everyone else. It was very much a race to the first place, and I'm I don't know. I'm excited to see pretty much all the players in the future. The time differences definitely make it harder for these players to compete in tournaments that are, EU times or NA times for that matter. So it's very nice to see these players being able to show off their stuff in a format like this. Not only that, being rewarded with a cash prize along with it as well, right? That's $90 going into the pocket of Winky Face right there. 60 going to Fiddy, 30 to Chung, and 20 to Min. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you can't be too disappointed, right? Like, dinner's sorted. You got dinner. It's good. We're good. And Winky Face can go out and get some lobster or something. I don't know. He's gonna get a fancy steak dinner. I don't know. He can treat himself. He can be very, very proud of himself of how he's done today. And hopefully he's he's losing some of those nerves right now. I'm sure he's still feeling those jitters.
Yeah, but overall was an awesome performance. We saw quite a bigger pool of, let's just say, improved players as well during the 3 weeks of the event. There were a bit of some upsets happening, like players like Seb did not make it, for example, in the top 8, who was looking as one of the favorites as well to maybe even win the event, but in both of the open qualifiers he did not manage to go through. So that was one of the bigger upsets in the tournament, I think. But overall, very, very awesome to see the amount of players we have seen, the level has been, and the playoffs, I think, also was a very entertaining watch. Some snipes from Einol as well, happening here and there. Some a bit of funnier moments, clips in here and there, and some sick rounds as well. So overall, an awesome tournament here. But we are actually not done for today. We are done with Asian Host Trackmania Championship, but there will be a special announcement coming in around 14 to 13 minutes. Thank you all, everyone who were in for Asian Host Trackmania Championship. Hope you all enjoy. If you're all from that region, definitely join their local community Discord, or also join Trackmania seasonal Discord, where you can find more updates about it. We try to notify when some regional events are gonna happen to give promotion to some of the minor regions in Trackmania. Try to give them a bit of exposure as well, to potentially pop on, like we did with the North and South American Open. That was played out in the end. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Shoutouts to Crizo as well, who was one of the casters. Big shoutouts to Raveout, who was the observer for the tournament. Vlayathon for the assets and graphics. Resir administrating all the servers in the back. Erwin Weber also trying to set up all the servers and automated server system. Rizzy for updating the Liquipedia page about it, so we get information in real time. And Boney C as well for being a host and one of the casters for the tournament. So big shoutouts to all of the people who were involved. Hopefully I did not forget anyone. As well. So yeah, if you're from Asia or those region, there are a lot of like tournament scenes and sub cups happening as well. So definitely check those out if you're from this region. But yeah, we're gonna be having a minor break, and we will be back with